Hello and welcome to my video about MG1100 car number 43848, which I owned briefly in the 1990s. I managed to save it from the tip and restore it and get it back onto the road. The car was purchased new originally in 1964 by George Thompson, the proprietor of Thompson Motors in Pulteney Street, Adelaide, South Australia. It was originally fitted new with a special cylinder head at the cost of £150. George drove it back to Australia, apparently in some sort of competition event. More about that later. And he then sold the car in 1966 to Reg O'Malley. Watch out for that name later in the video as well. Reg sold the car to Peter Crockett in June 1968, who then used it regularly up until approximately 1975 when the third gear broke a tooth. The engine was rebuilt shortly after Peter Crockett's acquisition. So the car sat unused until 1993 when I purchased it in this state. There's a rear shot which really shows how bad the rust condition was. It had been sitting in Peter Crockett's backyard covered in grass for, what was that, 20-something years. And the floor, you can't really see from this photograph, but the floor was almost non-existent. You could actually see daylight through the floor. That's the condition of the engine bay at the time I purchased it. The only real hint that the car had been used in competition is that there is an engine stay fitted, as you can see between the cylinder head and the slam panel there. So I haven't got many photographs of the car during restoration, just a few nearing the end. So here it is with its final colour coat and just getting ready to fit the chrome trim. And here's some of the trial fitting of the chrome trim and the lights and that sort of thing. And there's the engine going in after having been rebuilt. There's a rear view of it, still missing the final bits of chrome trim near the end of its restoration. The car took me about 6 months to restore. Most of that time was welding and preparing. But once I got the paint on, it was only about 2 weeks to get the car back on the road. That's a picture of the engine bay after the restoration. As you can see, I didn't refit that engine stabilizer. I didn't do any re-trimming. I managed to salvage all the existing trim except for the carpets, and I just purchased a pre-molded carpet kit from a local supplier. So there's a photograph of it after it was back on the road. As you can see, registered with new number plates rather than the original black and white numbers. And here it is in a concourse competition with the local MG car club, parked next to the MG1300 that at the time was owned by Reg O'Malley, the previous owner of car number 43848. The car came second in the concourse. That's the only trophy that car won under my name. Just before I sold it on, I experimented with fitting a different dashboard just to try different gauges and see what that would look like. Those gauges are out of a later model MGB, and I made a new dashboard to fit them all in. And I fitted a smaller sports steering wheel. I sold the car in 1995, and the current owners have campaigned the car quite successfully throughout Australia at most of the MG Car Club national meetings, and they've won many trophies in concourse and sporting events. So thanks for watching my short little video about this MG1100.